What's up, virtual travelers? Welcome back to the channel for another deep dive into the world's hidden corners. Today, we're heading off the beaten path, way beyond the 50 states and Washington, D.C. Did you know America has more out there than you see on most maps? That's right, there's a whole set of places called U.S. territories. The United States claims a total of 14 territories. Of those, 5 are the main, populated ones, while the other 9 are far-flung outposts called minor outlying islands. Each has its own wild story. Honestly, most Americans barely hear about these in school. If you ask your friends how many U.S. territories there are, without checking Google, you'll get guesses all over the place. My own friends? Most guessed 2 or 3. One even said Alaska was a territory. It's a state, for the record. Another thought Panama was a territory. Nope, that's a country. Gotta love those geography fails. But hey, we're here to fix that today. Let's take a virtual tour of all 14 U.S. territories. From bustling islands to remote reefs. 1. Guam. Guam is the westernmost territory of the United States, located in the Pacific Ocean's Micronesia region. With a population around 170,000, it's a tropical paradise. Think palm trees, coral reefs, and warm breezes all year. Tourism is huge. Visitors come for the beaches, diving, and Chamorro culture. The U.S. military also has a big presence here. The Portuguese explorer who first charted Guam was Antonio Pigafetta, sailing with Ferdinand Magellan in 1521. After centuries under Spanish rule, the island changed hands to the U.S. following the Spanish-American War in 1898. During World War II, the Japanese captured Guam soon after attacking Pearl Harbor. But the U.S. took it back 2.5 years later. These days, Guam is a blend of native Chamorro traditions, American comforts, and Spanish heritage. If you ever get the chance to visit, it's basically a tropical getaway with U.S. dollars and no passport required for Americans. Super easy and super beautiful. 2. American Samoa. This territory sits in the South Pacific, southeast of the independent nation of Samoa. It's made up of 5 main volcanic islands and 2 coral atolls. Europeans first arrived here in the 1700s, with the Dutch and French making early landfalls. A famous incident in 1787 led to a bloody clash between French sailors and islanders, hence the name Massacre Bay. American Samoa's immigration laws are unique. U.S. nationals can move in freely. But foreigners have to get approval from the local government, not the federal authorities. Tuna canning is the backbone of the economy. And American Samoa has the highest per capita military enlistment rate in the U.S. About 46,000 people live here, and the scenery is jaw-dropping. Think volcanic peaks and lush rainforests. 3. Northern Mariana Islands. Head north to the Northern Mariana Islands, a chain of 14 islands just above Guam. These were some of the first places settled by people in the remote Pacific. Magellan and his Spanish crew landed here in 1521. And the islands later became a Spanish colony. A culture clash happened right away. Locals borrowed a Spanish boat, not realizing Europeans considered it theft. During World War II, the Battle of Saipan and the Battle of Tinian happened here. Tinian is where the Enola Gay took off to drop the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima. Tourism and garment factories used to drive the economy. But after 2005, both industries took a hit and the population dropped from 69,000 to about 51,000 now. A lot of young people leave for better opportunities, but those who stay enjoy a close-knit island life. 4. United States Virgin Islands. Now, to the Caribbean. The United States Virgin Islands. This territory includes 3 main islands, St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix, plus around 50 smaller cays. Christopher Columbus spotted these islands on his second voyage in 1493. Today, they're a major destination for cruise ships and beach-loving tourists. Tourism accounts for about 60% of the local economy, with over 3 million visitors each year. Population peaked at 108,000 in 2000 and is now just over 105,000. There's no major military base here, just local National Guard units. But if you love sun, snorkeling, and laid-back vibes, this is the place to be. 5. Puerto Rico. Next, we visit Puerto Rico, probably the territory most likely to become the 51st state someday. Officially called the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, it was colonized by Spain and named for its rich port. Puerto Ricans have been U.S. citizens since 1917 and can travel freely to the mainland. After the Spanish-American War, the U.S. took control in 1898. Puerto Rico's economy is a mix of manufacturing, services, and tourism. But it has faced serious financial challenges in recent years. The population has been dropping, from 3.8 million in 2000 to about 3.3 million now. Despite the struggles, Puerto Rico remains full of color, music, and culture. Now, the minor outlying islands. 6. Wake Island. In the Pacific, about halfway between Hawaii and Guam, is Wake Island. It played a big role in World War II, changing hands after a fierce battle. Civilians and military personnel both fought to defend it before the Japanese took over. Today, it's uninhabited, with only a small caretaker presence. 7. Johnston Atoll. Johnston Atoll is a remote island that's seen decades of military use. As a refueling stop, air base, and even a nuclear testing site. It's now closed to the public and monitored for environmental reasons. 8. Midway Atoll. Midway Atoll is famous for the Battle of Midway in World War II, a turning point in the Pacific. Though it's called Midway, it's closer to Hawaii than Japan. The old airstrip remains for emergency aircraft landings. But otherwise, it's a wildlife refuge for seabirds and seals. 9. Kingman Reef. Kingman Reef is south of Hawaii and barely shows above water. There's no real land to speak of, just coral and a few sandy patches. No one lives here, but it's technically U.S. territory. 10. Palmyra Atoll. Just south of Kingman lies Palmyra Atoll, a ring of small islands and lagoons. It's uninhabited but sometimes visited by scientists and adventurers who bring their own supplies. It's great for snorkeling, if you can get there. 11. Jarvis Island. Jarvis Island is another uninhabited spot in the Pacific. Home only to birds and the occasional researcher. In the 1930s, the U.S. sent rotating crews of colonists to occupy it and keep the territorial claim. 12. Baker Island. Baker Island is similar, no residents, just birds. The U.S. kept small groups of people there in the 1930s and used it as a base during World War II. Now, it's a nature reserve. 13. Howland Island. Howland Island is famous as the place Amelia Earhart never reached. She was supposed to land here to refuel in 1937 but disappeared en route. Today, the island is empty except for seabirds. 14. Navassa Island. Lastly, there's Navassa Island, near Haiti. It's claimed by both the US and Haiti, but no one lives here, just seabirds and marine life. It's a tiny, contested slice of Caribbean wilderness. And there you have it, 14 US territories. Thanks for joining me on this virtual journey. If you want deeper dives into any of these places, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more hidden corners of the world. Take care, be kind, and keep exploring with virtual travel.